Gamers, I'm feeling evil today. Nintendo influencers ruin everything by Nintendo. This is something that passed by my very evil desk the other day. I thought I was feeling a bit nice, so I forewent it. I had to forego it, as you can tell, feeling very evil today. And we are going to put Nintendo back by popular demand, gamers. The evil score has returned for another round. We're going to give Nintendo a score and see what ends up happening. If you guys don't know how it works, you'll figure it out. Last time on Sir Moresty's evil score, it was not Malcolm that featured on it. And he started off poorly, but he ended up winning me over in the end. And I think he ended up with a positive evil score. How's Nintendo going to feature?
Hiya, Squirt. Today I want to tell you a story.
Okay. Already at -1. Already at -1. I'm older than you. Don't call me Squirt. You're like 20. You're like 20, broski. Leave me alone.
So it's 2023, the hype for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is through the roof, and it's a very exciting time for a certain lifelong Nintendo fan. Let's call them Bi-Curious George. Bi-Curious George is fresh out of college and working a shitty teaching job after moving to the most
Bi-Curious George. Okay, the Bi-Curious George pun, I'm like, okay, sure. I put the bi in bitch. Doing too much. Doing a bit too much. Doing too much. The hat just... I think the shirt with like the bi colors, fair. I think that works. Bi-Curious George, a fun pun on Curious George. The hat, nah, the hat's too much. Hat's too much. I don't fuck with that. Don't fuck with that. I'm not fucking with this.
Expensive city on Earth. They're completely broke, sober, and kinda ugly, so nightlife in the big city primarily consists of coming home and consuming as much Tears of the Kingdom related content as possible. Almost every day, Nintendo influencers are publishing videos about the game's art book, file size...
Let me guess. Bi-Curious George is you. That's gonna be the plot twist, right? It's secretly you. You got gaslit by the Nintendo influencers, and now you feel betrayed. This is your syndrome moment.
$70 price tag, as well as reports of almost half of the content in the game being completely absent for marketing and left as a surprise upon release. And Bi-Curious George just eats this shit up, okay? There's even this one Australian fellow
beat 'em ups
who makes an unboxing video about the then unreleased Zelda-themed Switch OLED, and Bi-Curious George is like, oh, this dude is so cool. He's got bead bracelets and a...
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest, brother. I'm gonna be honest. That's another minus point. If at any point thinking was cool at any... Come on, broski. See, at least my goat turned out to be a racist, okay? Your goat turned out to be a fucking... to try to wax philosophical about the psychology of faking a leak. I know which one I'd rather, okay?
Full of video games and a bunch of fucking hair all over his face. Meanwhile, Bi-Curious George has been sleeping in their friend's kitchen for 10 months and can only grow facial hair on their monkey ass. This all culminates in Bi-Curious George making a series of very poor financial decisions. Not only do they decide they want to buy the game itself, but also all the accessories surrounding the game, including... Okay, now I'm going to presume, again, I've kind of figured out that Bi-Curious George is also your profile picture, so I'm guessing this is kind of on you. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest, brother. If there's one genre that I can't, I'm just a bit like, I'm just like why would you admit this, bro? I'm just like, why would you admit this? Like, there seems to be like an archetype of person. I don't know. I wouldn't say if Nintendo fits into this person. Personally, not based off this anywhere, but it seems to be an archetype. You've seen them on the internet, right? Where they just can't stop posting their L's on the internet. I'm just like yeah, you got fleeced, broski. Like, you kind of just leave. Are you gonna blame the Nintendo influencers for doing that? So I wouldn't say self-deprecate. The self-deprecation is a bit different than like, you know. I feel like there's like another level where I'm just like, listen, brother, come on now. Come on. $60 Zelda Switch OLED, even though they already have a regular OLED model.
And you. Hang on, how is that BMUps' fault? Come on!
The $360 Zelda Switch OLED, even though they already have a regular OLED model.
Whose fault is that? Okay, I could definitely see someone being like influenced to buy a video game. 100%. I don't doubt for a second that someone at some point watching my streams over the last like, what, 7 years I've been live streaming, has seen me play a game and go, I want to play that. And then bought it because they saw me play it. A whole console! A whole second console, yeah? Yeah, that's crazy. That's actually, that's crazy work, brother. I'm gonna be honest. That's actually crazy work. A whole ass console. I'm sorry. That's too much. That's too much. That's too much. That's too. You couldn't. Fucking. They couldn't get this information at me at Guantanamo Alcatraz, bro. Come on. Have some shame.
Because they saw people online talking about
these
products for months on end. When May 12th eventually rolls around and Bi-Curious George finally gets their grubby monkey mitts on their $75 Zelda-themed Switch Pro controller to play Tears of the Kingdom, an astonishing wave of disappointment washes over them.
Well, of course it is. You hyped yourself up for a fizz and a fury to the point where the game could do nothing but disappoint you. That's your fault. Hype responsibly. That's the term, isn't it? There's drink responsibly and then there's hype responsibly. You get to a point where you're like, I'm gonna buy this. And that's it. Do you know what I mean? You're like, hey, that's it, I'm ready now. If you put the game all the way up here, it was never gonna be up there, broski. That's your fault, okay? I still can't get over buying a whole console because of a YouTuber. Do you know, I'm gonna give him an extra half point for that. That's actually unbelievable. I'm also gonna give him another minus point, hype responsibly. Hype responsibly. How am I spelling this? Responsibly? I can't spell anymore. -8. I can't spell. And it's your fault.
They realize that not only has most of the game's surprise been completely spoiled by Nintendo influencers, but the speculation surrounding the game has exhausted the possibility of it actually living up to expectation. And
I don't think it's their fault, I'll be real with you. I don't think it's their fault in the slightest. It's kind of on you. If there's a game I'm skeptical, maybe watch an hour of gameplay to know whether I won or not. I think that's fair. Yeah, definitely. We found the buyer's remorse Dean foretold. Thanks for the donuts, guys. Yeah, we found it. We found the final boss of buyer's remorse, eh? Every console I bought is because I wanted something myself. Yeah, it's crazy. Again, I could totally buy it. I think Matthew said that he bought Dicey Dungeons because I kept talking about it because I fucking love that. It was Dicey Dungeons. Buyer's remorse. Hey! Good pun, guys. This is Bi-Curious George had buyer's remorse, huh?
Bi-Curious George into a spiral. They stop playing video games altogether and wander the city streets at night. They tell their bosses to kiss their furry monkey ass and quit their teaching job on the spot. They get carbon monoxide poisoning from a gas leak in the kitchen they're sleeping in, but also never go see the doctor about it because they don't have health insurance.
Gamers, I'm a little tired. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm just a little tired.
Now, you're probably wondering what the fuck this story is about. Well,
it's about you. That's the twist.
The truth is, it's about me.
Oh my god, crazy! I would never have predicted that!
This is me, okay? This all actually happened. I'm Bi-Curious.
Intro was okay. I think it lasted a bit longer than it needed to, but okay, let's get into the meat and potatoes now. We haven't even... Intro is gone and you're already at -8.5. Now, bearing in mind, I think not Malcolm, I think reached a -10 at some point and ended up surviving. Ended up getting a positive score. What about you, brother? Are you going to come to the light? Let's find out.
Now, of course, I would never blame this entirely on Nintendo influencers.
Okay, fair.
I was 23 years old when this all happened, and the irresponsible financial choices I made were completely my own.
Okay, do you know what? I'll take half a point off for a bit of self-awareness. Okay, fair.
Furthermore, I have since grown to really love and appreciate Tears of the Kingdom in its own way, and it was my decision to listen to these content creators in the first place. But that doesn't mean that their content is above criticism.
I wouldn't say above criticism, but when it comes to the hype thing, I don't think it's their fault. If you have another thing that's their fault, then I'm willing to hear it. But when it comes to the hype thing, I don't think it's... No, absolutely not. But we'll see. Doing that at 25 is 23 is still a lot crazy. I'll give him a pass. 23 is like definitely a little bit like getting a little too grown for this sort of thing. But but like I'm like, okay, if you're gonna make that mistake, make it now. So then when you're like fully grown, you don't,
Time and
just
time
about.
again, we've seen how unregulated hype demolishes enjoyment upon release. In fact, I'd argue that.
Okay, but then like, hang on. Now, just like you said, unregulated hype demolishes enjoyment. So that's why I say hype responsibly. I put the onus on the individual. What are you gonna? There's two realities. Either you hype responsibly and only consume the pre-release content that gets you excited enough, and that's it, or you get everyone to stop talking about it. Which one's more feasible? Which one demands more agency of you, the person? But let's see if he continues with this point.
Expectations are met or exceeded, it's typically because there are no set expectations to begin with. Breath of the Wild was the first Zelda game of its kind, and while it has plenty of issues, it's also widely upheld as one of the best games of all time because no one could truly expect just how revolutionary it would be. Tears of the Kingdom, on the other hand, was a direct follow-up and therefore had an exact metric by which it was being critiqued, leading to many being seriously let down by the end result. And there are definitely cases...
Which I think is fair. Like, if you wanted Tears of the Kingdom to be as evolutionary as Breath of the Wild, then it was a fair expectation to have. I would say maybe your expectations were a bit skewed, because to me, it always just looked like it was going to be a sequel. It was always going to be more Breath of the Wild. And of course, that initial excitement of playing a Breath of the Wild, it's just what happens with sequels. So I could definitely understand it, but at the same time, it's just sequels. It's the nature of sequels, isn't it?
Of Nintendo overcharging and under-delivering on their product. I'm not trying to let the $100 billion corporation off the hook for the growing resentment towards their brand and solely point fingers at the YouTubers, okay? But these influencers should still take accountability for their content, especially the more prominent ones. So,
okay, when you say this, you could go a lot of ways. Like when you say content creators should be responsible with their platforms when it comes to like hype stuff, I would say the only responsibility they have is to label things clearly. So for example, I think when beat-em-ups, as stupid as his point was, I think when he had his overall point of when stuff is like rumors or leaks, I think those should be made very clear, very apparent in the title immediately, within seconds. Should I be in the title immediately, or within the first couple seconds of your video that we're talking about rumors or we're talking about leaks? You know what I mean? Either talking about confirmed stuff or not confirmed stuff. Other than that, I would say there is no other responsibility on the creator. Like, as long as you make it clear, delineate between this is something that I'm talking about something, and here's obviously the overview trailer or whatever, or here's a rumor flying about, and then here's the source of the rumor, then I think that's it, really. I think that's just kind of it. What else could you possibly want from another creator? I'm willing to hear it. Lay on me.
Let's talk about it.
Part 1, beat-em-ups. Okay, if you're gonna beat-em-up slander, I'll be there no matter what, okay?
If you aren't already caught up to speed, a little over a month ago, Wood from Beat 'em Ups, commonly referred to as
the largest individual Nintendo content creator probably in the world,
announced on his podcast that he heard a rumor about an upcoming
easy +9. I'll give him I'm a +3. Beat 'em up slander, I'll give him a +3, okay?
Nintendo Direct in July, in which we'd hear about titles such as Metroid Prime 4 and a new Animal Crossing. This news then disseminated to Reddit, gaming websites, and, of course, other Nintendo YouTube channels, all generating hundreds of thousands of views.
So fun to poke out. It's so easy to poke out, it's almost boring. I'm not bored of it yet. Maybe I'll be bored of it someday, but not yet. I'll still be there.
Interest for Nintendo fans across the board, particularly within the Animal Crossing community who hadn't heard news surrounding a new...
If anything, you should hate him more, Matthew. He said there was Animal Crossing news, and there wasn't. All of the Animal Crossing bros ate crow in real time.
And over
it was unbelievable.
Years. There was only one problem. It was a lie.
I made it up.
Wood later admitted to making it all up, claiming that he did so as a social experiment in an effort to try and stop gaming leaks for good.
Oh man, just hearing it back just makes you realize absolutely how insane it is. You know what I mean? It's I'm gonna stop leaks for good.
Because
I hate gaming leaks. They ruin surprises, they spoil moments that we love.
Then on his apology tour, he contradicted this statement where he had this to say about gaming rumors.
But Wood, you speculate all the time. You always talks about the rumors and the leaks. Yeah, because it's fun. Yeah, because I like doing it.
It's a lot of fun.
This took place during an interview with another well-known Nintendo influencer by the name of Nintendo Prime, famous for making
Nintendo Prime, yeah? Good lord.
unedited, unscripted, and unnecessary videos that all have the same title.
Is this like Nintendo Land's chunkier older brother or something? That's the vibe I'm getting from this. Fucking RF.
It's deleted.
They just keep duplicating, don't they? All these fucking Nintendo channels.
We got a fort. And here we are, and sure enough, it's deleted.
With this quote-unquote experiment,
No, Switch Forces brother? Got it, okay.
Wood indirectly implicated channels like Nintendo Prime of perpetuating this vicious cycle of misinformation and ruined surprises.
We live in a culture of constant Nintendo Direct rumors, manufactured excitement, and clickbait YouTube titles.
Which I actually agree with. This was especially egregious during the pandemic when every other day there was apparently some new bombshell lead on the often rumored Switch Pro, which turns out didn't even exist. A few years later, these channels also played a pivotal role in leaking every last detail about the Switch 2 before it was even revealed. But
That was kind of, I'm not gonna lie, the Switch Pro or whatever it was called arc was kind of fun. Am I silly for thinking it was just funny? When people just kept, it felt like every week I was seeing a new design for the Switch Pro. If you're asking me, I just thought that sort of thing was like fucking funny. I don't know about you. Again, I think as far as I'm concerned, the responsibility is just on the creators to like source an article or something, or to make it clear it's a rumor or speculation. As far as I'm concerned, like what do you want from them? Like, if what I'm saying is that in a world where, like, say Nintendo Prime makes 10 videos about like the Switch Pro, right? If he accurately calls them speculation, if he says like they're rumors, if he says like blah blah, as long as he's not making it clear that this is the real deal, I'm just like, let him speculate. I don't know. It's just kind of fun. I don't know. It's just kind of I don't know what you want me to tell you. You know, everyone wanted it, which made the OLED reveal even funny. It wasn't it? Like I don't know what you want from me personally. I can't say I'm particularly offended by this.
Wood's approach to solving this issue was not only comically mishandled, but his apology for blatantly lying seemed less directed towards his audience and more intent on making amends with his fellow Nintendo content creators. And the funny thing is, I don't like the content from either of these creators.
Ooh, do you know what? He's farming points, guys. He's farming points. He's farming points.
Not only did Wood never fully explain what this supposed plan was to put an end to Nintendo leaks for good, but he's also a massive creator that has no history of spreading false information or gaming rumors in general. So it's ridiculous for him to act like people believing his claims is a confirmation bias gotcha moment. It's also not scientifically sound or ethical, but if you want to hear more about that, I'd recommend checking out this video since I'm not a scientist. And despite poorly paraphrasing the Wikipedia article on confirmation bias and dressing up like a male stripper in a doctor outfit, Wood isn't one either. So why did he do this?
Because he has a massive ego, that's why he did it. He's a fucking egomaniac, that's why.
Say what you will about real gaming journalists, but if you actually want to stay up to date with legitimate rumors and leaks, there are plenty of channels out there that are far more diligent in sorting through the bullshit, presenting you with the real news stories, and not wasting your time while doing so.
I think genuinely, okay, yeah, actually, you know, guys, he's made it into the positives. Because I've always said this, that I think one of the worst things that I think gamer culture kind of did, justified. I'm not going to say like it was a mistake. Like I think mistake is the wrong word. I think one of the downsides of us like having this like attitude of just not caring about the journos, right? Like your IGNs, your like fucking etc. Like your GameSpots, and yeah, it's a natural consequence. Yeah, one of the natural consequences of like not trusting gaming journos is that when we actually need them, people don't know where to go. Like people just don't know. Like people don't naturally just go, oh, let me check IGN for like the news. You know, like lately, what did I do recently? I think that was Twilight was telling me there's this new game that came out. Apparently sucks. What was it called? It was like this fucking zombie game. Oh, this one, Code Violet. That's what it's called. Apparently it was just really shit. So I just watched the IGN review and he explained it quite well. The animations are shit. The game is buggy. The open world slop. Terrible all around. the dinosaurs don't even look like dinosaurs. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I don't need some guy in his bedroom whispering in my ear while he's fucking giving me a Squarespace sponsorship. You know what I mean? But sometimes it's just fine to just be like, see what IGN's up to, or just like to read an article, because sometimes you can get the information evidently much quicker than you can from like Mr. fucking Nintendo Land's Echo Fighter over here. You know what I mean?
On the other hand, these kind of Nintendo influencers have to make a full-length video every single day and convince their audience that that video features huge, unmissable gaming news, even if it's just a completely unsubstantiated rumor that they heard from
I think when you say have to, that word's doing a lot of carrying. They don't have to, they want to. They just want that bread, bro. They just want that bread. And as far as, again, it's one of those things where as long huge Nintendo 2, Switch 2 and Direct leaks just dropped. So again, in the title, he made it clear that these are leaks. You know what I mean? If you're going to watch this video, but, you know, viewer beware, there's going to be leaks. As far as I'm concerned, I'm just like, it's kind of it, really?
Dive into something that we actually have some tangible evidence for. Seller on Chinese secondhand marketplace Goofish.
And in an age of widespread misinformation and AI-generated news stories, this kind of content does not bode well for those of us actually trying to make something of substance. I think in general,
I think when you say that, I think you're under the assumption that it's a zero-sum game. I always hate when like small YouTubers do this, by the way. It's like my pet peeve. I'm not sure if he's like properly doing this just yet, but they make it seem like it's a zero-sum game. That the kinds of people who are going to watch this are like the kinds of people who are not going to watch like more well-informed content. And I'm just like, no, I think the kinds of people who are always going to watch more informed stuff are going to seek that out. The kinds of people who want to watch Nintendo Prime generally are the kind of person that's probably just going to slap a video on in the background, since it's easier to do than to read an article while they're playing a game, and they just want a yapper whispering in their ear. Do you know what I mean? That's mainly what this is. I think when small YouTubers especially say this, they deny the fact that a lot of the time there's a reason why, and this is coming from me. I have personal experience on this. There's a reason why a lot of people say they much prefer Sir Moresty over Sir Musty. And it's just because you can go onto that channel like once every 2 days or so, and there's like a half an hour to 1 hour video for you to watch. You can stick on in the background, you can watch it while you're doing your dishes, while you're playing some games, and you can get some fun and laughs out of it, or learn something new. People just value that a lot. A lot. So as long as the information that they get here isn't horribly missourced, then I have no issues with this. What you have to do is, I think what you should do, I think if Nintendo Mitty genuinely wants to change the zeitgeist of this sort of thing, I think what you should do is, if Nintendo Prime makes some sort of content and he's done it irresponsibly, then you should make a video calling him out. That's what you should do, 100%. If he's made like a video and his source is literally just like an AI-like website or some shit, 100% call him out on that. Call him out, name and shame. That's how you get these people to change. That's how you're doing a good job by naming and shaming here. But like, if you want to be like the fucking police, if you want to be the vigilante, then be the vigilante, by all means. In fact, there's a whole subreddit of people that love me for like taking down Nintendo, because I'm like, Musty's taking down the grift, and I'm just like, I'm not your vigilante, bro. I'm just kind of like making videos. Do you know what I mean? It's the reason why I prefer Scott Stash over the main channel. Yeah, exactly. People like in the modern day, people value consistency as long as it meets a certain standard of quality and it's consistent enough. That's what it is. And that standard of quality for a lot of people isn't really that high. Like, it just isn't. Like, it's not like a value judgment. It's just people just want guy that they like the sound of or the look of to talk about something that they're somewhat interested in. And with Sir Moresty, you kind of get that, right? You just like consistency. So
I would just have more respect for
let me hear the whole
the stories. This kind of content does not bode well for those of us actually trying to make something of substance. I think in general, I would just have more respect for this kind of gaming journalism if it wasn't so cowardly. Nintendo Prime likes to speak on how discussing video game news and rumors acts as a kind of escapism from everything else that's going on in the world.
Compared to all the other things going on in the world that can just really drag you down. You know, the overall harm of speculating about video games and talking about rumors, it seems kind of not that big of a deal, and like it's a better use of our time.
First of all,
what is there something? Oh, is it going to be political? What's wrong with this? Definitely spoken like a Nintendo adult. I'm like, sure, right?
It's not. If you're lucky enough to have an outlet that gives you a break from focusing on the atrocities of the world, then by all means, you should give yourself that gift when you can. God knows I do.
This is like, honestly, this is top 5. Top 5 worst normal people to exist is the kind of person who like finger wags at you. Why are you talking about Nintendo stuff? Aren't you aware there's more important things to talk about? Hey guys, Nintendo Prime here. I heard that the war is gonna end tomorrow. Guys, be sure to really invest in Ukraine, okay? Yeah, because that's what I want, right? That's what I want, yeah?
I also don't think anyone should use that as an excuse to completely...
Okay, it is as well. I didn't even pause it too soon. Yeah, guys, Nintendo Switch 2, huge news coming out, but let's briefly talk about the ice raids, guys. Yeah, I'm all for holding I would say the scrimbly gaming journalists, not like the alternative, let's call it alternative, the alternative games journalists to more standards. I'm 100% for that. I don't want them talking about any of this shit, bro. Are you kidding me? I don't want that. I'll go somewhere else. Good lord.
Draw from what's happening out there in the world right now. In the long run, it is not a better use of our time to prioritize learning about a rumored port of New Super Mario Bros. Wii over, say, spreading awareness about
Jesus Christ as well. Oh my god.
Palestinian genocide that the US is actively supporting, no matter how much it bums you out to hear about it.
Okay, but again, do you want Nintendo Land? Do you want beat-em-ups? Do you want beat-em-ups? Talking about that. That's what I tell you, hey, I'm making it clear to you. You do not want Sir Moresty's opinion on Israel-Palestine. Because guess what? I don't know what the fuck's going on over there. Because I'm not that well educated. I know about the general geopolitics of what's been going on the last 75 years. But the particulars? I have no fucking idea, broski. Don't come to me for that. You come to me for pointing and laughing. Just like we're doing now. That's what you come to me for. Good fucking lord. Get rid of me, bros. Get rid of me. Get rid of me. And then this guy gets to have 90k, yeah? What a sick joke. Hang on, there's a but, you're right. There's a but, gamers, there's a but. I could have to take all of that back, hang on.
But I get it. These Nintendo news channels don't make political content, right?
Yes.
You're like me.
Yes. Yes, I think that's fair too.
You don't always pay close attention to politics.
Some of my favorite creators on this platform don't bring up politics in their videos because it just doesn't pertain to their content.
Yes.
Like, I love Nate the Hoof Guy, right? I mean, I fantasize about the things this dude could do to my feet, but also...
Okay.
It would be really weird if all of a sudden he started talking about anti-trans legislation in the middle of a video called Pus Sprays from a Heifer's Hoof. But the problem with channels...
Okay, so why is it bad when these guys don't do that? Why is it... Okay, here's the part, gamers. Minus 300. Do you know what, fair. Why is it bad when this guy... Why is it bad when... Now, granted, having seen Nintendo Prime's channel the first time I've properly seen him, I have no inkling to to look at any of this content ever in my life. What is wrong with him not doing that, though? This is the part where you convince me. This is the part where you wipe your score clean in 10-me. Lay on me.
Nintendo Prime is that when you're discussing the news, even video game news, politics will inevitably be involved. And when they are, time and time again, we've seen him take a centrist, fence-sitting, cowardly approach.
Again, no content creator owes you a fucking stance on something. Where's this take, broski? I don't understand. I don't understand what's wrong with you. I don't understand. If you want to do Nintendo content with a political leaning, fucking go for it, broski. I don't want to. I just want to fucking talk about games, man. That's not to say I don't have my own political opinions, because of course I do. I just don't talk about them when the situation doesn't pertain to it. Now, hypothetically, if there was a video game related story that did weave into politics, yeah, I would talk about it. I will say, like, for example, when like the tariff stuff was happening and games were getting more expensive because of the tariffs, and like there seemed to be kind of like this, you know how we made the joke, right? We made the joke that like, oh, say the T word, say the tariffs word, take it, because it seemed to be like a contingent of Nintendo tubers that just didn't want to bring up the tariffs or Trump on any sort of like, you know what I mean? I think those people are a bit weird. You know what I mean? I think when it directly ties it to video games, yeah, bring it up. Don't shy around it. It's just, you're just kind of being a bit stupid. It's not like you being weaselly or you being a coward. It's just stupid. Like, if I'm talking about the price of video games in the US, I'm going to say, yeah, it's because of the tariffs. It's because of Donald Trump's tariffs. That's what I'm going to say. Donald Trump. My channel's not going to explode if I say the name. But if it doesn't ascertain to politics and they don't want to talk about it, who cares? Who cares? I'm asking you, who gives a shit? Hey guys, when I invite Frying Pan Sam onto my stream on Thursday, should I ask him about his thoughts on like the fucking ice raids? He better have a take on the ice raids or I'm going to ban him. How about that? I can't. It's terrible. I don't. I have to ask him. I need to know what he thinks. All right. Twitter feels like 3 topics in one. He literally overhyped himself to buy another Switch and TOTK. Now we're criticizing Nintendo creators for not being left or right. Hello. I don't get it neither, broski. I don't get it. Okay, I kind of get it in the sense that I guess he wants more activism from his Nintendo creators, and I don't think he's thought about that for 2 seconds. I genuinely don't feel like he's thought about it. Does he want him to be like, it's all because of that fucking Trump I hate? I don't know. I mean, he might explain it here. But devil's advocate, the kind of creator that won't mention the tariffs because it's scary, it's Trump. Yeah, those guys are cowards because it's just like, we're talking about video games. If it doesn't lead to video games, yes, you should talk about it. If it doesn't at all, then no. You should, like, just make me laugh, video man. Okay, I don't care. All right, just put the laughs in the factory. Okay.
And this is probably because the gamers notoriously hate politics in their video games. Whether that's a game featuring a shallow, both sides are wrong, cycle of violence is bad, moral messaging wrapped in an apartheid state allegory from an Israeli point of view, or just any game that has, like, gay stuff in it. Like, what the fuck?
What happened? I don't know. I don't know. Is there like an entire war of like woke versus anti-woke gamers that's like going on? Like, I don't care. I'm just like, yeah, those guys exist. I just click don't recommend channel and I move on with my day. You know what I mean? I don't care what side of the political aisle you're on. I just don't care. Call me a coward, I guess. I just don't care. I feel like it's an entirely different convo. I think it is, isn't it?
An inherently political story directly tied to the Trump tariffs.
I'm a very centrist person. I'm not super hard left. I'm not super hard right. I really sit in the middle. Everyone's just trying to figure out how to fix their countries and make their countries the best they can be. I do tend to take the words of the President of the United States serious. I know some people think he lies all the time, and that's fine. This is not a political debate.
Okay, so there are 3 explanations for whatever the fuck he just said. Either 1, he's too scared to alienate any potential Trump supporters in his audience. 2, he's a closet Trump supporter himself, and he's scared to alienate everyone who isn't. Or 3, he literally just does not give a fuck about anything and actually considers himself to be a centrist, which seems like the least likely option, but
if I watched any YouTuber and I'm there for the news and they had to explain 3 different times I'm not a political, I would just click off the video. Not because they're a centrist, but because I'm just like, just give me the news. Just give me the news, bro. Just give me.
The belief that if you have a platform, you should help raise awareness for something as catastrophic and prevalent as, say, a genocide, even if it doesn't specifically pertain to the content you specialize in.
Okay, but like, who is the arbiter of at what point a content creator has to use their platform or should use their platform? And when I ask you that question, your entire argument just falls apart. Because of course you want them to talk about Israel-Palestine because that's something you care about. What happens when they're talking about like something else?
But I also understand that people need to consume content that provides them with a sense of escapism from the horrors of the world. You know what's good for that? Playing video games. Watching an hour-long
why does it have to be either or though? Hang on.
Analysis of your favorite game on YouTube. Taking a goddamn walk. This is not good escapism.
What? Why is listening to Nintendo news, leaks, and speculation not good? Again, who decided that? I have to take my hood off because I'm getting too heated. Who decided that? Is live streaming not good escapism now? What have I said? Your content is not good escapism now. What have I said that? Hey guys, it's not good escapism anymore. It's not. Nintenmity is not good escapism. That's it. That's it, you're cooked. Hey, argument destroyed. Argument destroyed, liberal.
This is excessively drawn out gaming news without artistic intent and without a backbone.
Okay, but like, who? Don't watch it. Yeah, gamers, he's right. No, when he says that, he's right. My stance is, just don't watch it. Like, you're mad it exists? Wow, boo boo. Oh no, all I'm saying, hang on, think about it. You're mad that it exists. Aren't there other things that are worth Oh, it's not so nice when the shoe's on the other foot, is it? That's not so nice. Aren't there other things worth complaining about? Aren't there more important things worth complaining about? And you made a video on Nintendo influencers. You could have been talking. You could have been an entire video on like the Israel-Palestine conflict, like summed up in 10 minutes, the geopolitics of it all. Because I'm sure there's some people that don't understand how it works in the gaming sphere, huh? Wouldn't that have been interesting, eh, Nintendo? Now this video is about what is good or bad escapism. Yeah, the video's like changed topics like 10 times. Thanks for the 5, by the way. The 5, no message. What's it? Does he not know about viewer discretion? Yeah, it's like... I'm not gonna get, okay, I'm just talking solely from my life experience. I'm gonna get a little bit political, guys. Political warning, okay? Now, if there's something that the right-wingers say that like kind of annoys me, it's whenever they do the whole pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You make the implication that anybody getting any sort of hand up is a bad thing, right? Whereas when you're talking to me, someone who literally only exists the way I am because of the social benefit system in the UK, I find that mindset to be a bit toxic. I think asking for a handout of some kind when you need it, I think is something that is important to do. And I think in this ever harsh society, I think it's something that I'm going to be honest, I'm happy to pay my taxes to fund. The other side, though, is the people like this who do like, it's always the case of the reverse, that these people are so helpless, they can't help themselves. It's always this, one thing I hate is like this attitude of helplessness. And I hate it. I actually cannot stand it, okay? I cannot stand it so much. It seems to be like, I wouldn't say uniquely left-wing, obviously. But in the same way that, like every time I hear pull yourself up by your bootstraps, it always happens to be a right-wing guy. I always hear like, what's it? The learned helplessness from the left-wing. The savior mentality, thank you. That's what I'm looking for. It's the savior mentality always happens. Every single time I hear the savior mentality, it's always someone from the left-wing, right? And this is exactly what it is. Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm for agency. I'm not talking about those ICE agents. I'm talking about agency. I'm not talking about Agent 47 neither. I'm bringing it back to gaming. It's about agency. It's about what can you do. That's the one thing I advocate for the most. Yeah, you can have your politics. You can do this and this and that. But I advocate for agency, all right? I advocate for what can you do to make the things around you better. And that manifests in everything I talk about, chat. What do I say when you want to combat the discourse? Not interested button. What do I say when you want to change the discourse as is? Name and shame. I'm for agency. I'm for you, the individual, doing what you can. Yeah, you're gonna need a hand up. Of course you are. And I'm all for society having those safety nets, whether it be a community, whether it be the government. I'm all for that, 100%. But I'm for agency. You first. You have to do something. Not anyone else. You. So when Nintendo says these guys are making soulless, artisticless slop, I'm for you, the individual, voting with your time. If you want to watch Nintendo Prime over reading an article, do it. I think you're wasting your time. Don't get it wrong, but do it. You have every right to do what you want. It's a free country, motherfucker. Mom didn't flee Somalia to come to this country for you to tell me what the fuck to do, broski. You do what you want, okay? You make life of what you want of it. If someone wants to watch Nintendo Prime, as far as I'm concerned, it ain't illegal, and there's much more morally questionable things they could be watching outside of the law. Fucking go for it, bro. Like, do your thing. I'll make fun of you for it. I'm pro making fun of people for doing weird shit, but they can do the weird shit they want. Do you know what I mean? So I hate this. I hate, in the same way that in right-wing circles, I've always seen, pull yourself by your bootstraps, I've always seen the savior mentality from left-wingers. And I think Nintendo's definitely got a case of the savior mentality. If Nintendo Prime or any of these YouTubers have individually done anything that you believe to be outside of journalistic integrity, call them out on it. If Nintendo Prime is like going above and beyond to spread misinformation, call them out on it. 100% you should. You should spread awareness of this sort of thing. Don't say they shouldn't exist. That makes no sense. I don't get it. That's my stance anyway. But politics over, guys. Politics warning over, okay? Let's continue watching the video.
Massively drawn out gaming news without artistic intent and without a backbone. Look,
what now?
I know these channels aren't going anywhere because at the end of the day, they're making a living off this content. But I really do believe that the content they make is not only creating false expectations and leading to more disappointment for their followers, but also inspiring their audience to have unconditional brand loyalty to a $100 billion corporation that truly does not give a fuck about them.
And I think what you should do is you should do what you did here, which is call them out for it. That's what you do, okay? In fact, if you're asking me personally, the much more effective... Now, granted, you got 90k views on this video. Well done. But like, if you're asking me, the much more effective way... If there's one thing I've learned from my 31 years of life, I'm telling you this now, people do not like to be mocked. That is no one on this earth likes to be mocked. Everyone wants to be taken seriously to some degree. Everyone wants to be respected to a certain degree. So how do you get someone to... I think the most effective way to change hearts and minds is just point at the opposite, you know? I think it's like, a persuasive, cogent argument is also great too. But sometimes pointing and laughing at someone and then having someone next to them go, wait, hang on, That guy's pointing and laughing at that guy, but that's actually me. Is he gonna point and laugh at me? I don't want to get pointed and laugh. Shit, I gotta do something, bro. Hey, I'm just saying, I've seen that that's happened to me. I can't think of instances off the top of my head, but I've seen instances where like, how many times, games? I guarantee this happened to you. 100% this happened to you. Someone will make a video calling out like Nintendo adults, for example, and they were just like, you know, watching this video made me realize I play way too many fucking Nintendo games. I bought a PS5 and now I play PS5 games now, bro. I've broadened my gaming palette. Do you know what I mean? And then guess what? Aren't you better off for it? You've widened your gaming palette for what? I didn't have to be an obnoxious cunt about it. Like you.
Even when it directly pertains to the story at hand. Because as it currently stands, this is journalism no more than this is a social experiment.
I'm also getting another 1,000 to your evil score. Doing the whole sad song to manipulate your audience to feeling sad too. Classic. It's the classic. I'm gonna use Animal Crossing sad music so people know I'm sad now. And it's Roost as well. And if you're gonna do it, you're using that one Animal Crossing song. Do you know what I mean? It's called the Roost, right? Like, yeah, like this is already something that like that kind of annoys me. But like if you're gonna do it, at least pick a cool song. Do you know what I mean?
That is to say, it's not. It's
well, again, sorry, just to clarify on my earlier point, if you want the standards of this journalism to be better, call him out for it. Again, I think he did an excellent job here, but why relent? Keep doing it. If there is an agenda you could say I want to push, is that I want to push for people being a lot more happy with their online browsing and taking back that agency. I would say that's probably my overall agenda, if I was to say I have an agenda, you know? But either way, like I don't really have like a bias one way or the other of like making sure journalistic integrity in the Nintendo or gaming space or Nintendo gaming space is better. I don't really have a stake in that. I should though, maybe I should though. But like something I have done in the past, obviously, with Nintendo Land or what have you. But if it's something that you care about, make the change happen, you know? Make the change happen. Name and shame. You've done a good job here, keep doing it.
It's catering to single-issue gamers who have grown used to tuning out the state of the world beyond what directly affects them and their favorite hobby. And whether they know it or not, I think it's feeding into a growing resentment against that hobby. It doesn't matter if they tell you to take these rumors and leaks with a grain of salt, because this kind of content creation relies on getting your hopes up enough for you to click on their videos every day.
This is literally the most 23-year-old coded video ever. He's a 23-year-old with a savior complex, and he thinks he can save people. I was affected by the Nintendo soys, and like, all of you guys are too. It's like, no. You fucking bought another Switch like an idiot, and now you're making it the world's problem. Listen, I've seen some Switches that look really fucking good. I'm not shelling out, like, don't get me wrong. Thanks. Rich of me to say I'm not poor when I got like I think I made like £300 this stream, but like I'm not exactly rich enough to buy another Switch because the design was cool. You know what I mean?
Because when all is said and done, you are clicking on a video of someone who gets paid to be excited for you.
Again, if and here's the thing though. Here's the thing though. Paid to be excited for you. First, I think that's a strange phrasing. But like at the same time, and I think you guys could probably attest to this in like the modern day especially, sometimes you just want someone who's just excited about something coming out as you. Sometimes you know how you feel and you're just like, I just want to see someone else's stance on this thing that I'm excited by. You know? I think that's totally valid. I think that's totally valid. I think as long as you don't get like too, again, caveat emptor, right chat? Use your agency. Don't obviously hype yourself up to a fizz and a fury. But yeah, like if I saw a Metroid Prime, now that I've finished Metroid Prime 4, if I saw a video like talking about what Metroid Prime 4 does right, I'm like, oh, I want to see if they thought the same thing as me at the moment, right? I'm probably like at some point I'll probably also consume like critical content and see what the other people think. But like I'd be more. I'm just excited to have finished it. I'm excited to have played it. So I'm like, oh, I wonder who else is excited. We're happy. Let's do a little happy dance, Charlie. Like I'm just happy for that. So I can see someone with seeing what PLZA in the thumbnail. And just going, fuck, I'm excited for PLZA. Let's fucking watch a PLZA. What's excited about it, Because I already know I'm excited for it, So what's the issue with this? And we say pay to be excited. Again, that's another thing that I'd pass to the viewer. If you feel like the content creator you're watching is not being earnest with their opinion, you should find someone else to watch. That's on you, really. Like, if you're asking me how I implement this in my content, in my viewing experience, like, Moist Critical is a YouTuber that I've been watching for like 15 years now at this point, I think. Has it been 15 years? I watched this Sumo Tori video, whenever that video came out. That was his first video I watched. I watched that like a week after it came out. So I've been watching it for ages. Do I watch every video that he uploads? No. Not really. I think it's a lot of them just 12 minutes, him in white shirt, just talking about the news, when it's generally just easier for me to go on Twitter and read the article myself. But like, yeah, when he's talking, I think I watched his coverage of the Stranger Things situation, which was really, really funny. So I watched him for that. But yeah, I don't watch all of his stuff. I just kind of, if he's got something interesting to say, he got something interesting. If not, then not. So if you're assuming, like, don't get me wrong, no, just to be clear, just to play devil's advocate, are there like a contingent of viewers that will literally just like consume any slop you put in front of them? Yeah, I imagine that's the case. But like, what you should do is like inform viewers to be more cognizant of the content they consume. And I think doing a video like this, while it seemed like it would be a good thing at doing that in theory, I think with the angle that you took this video and how like disorganized it was, I think you did a poor job at doing this sort of thing. I think my coverage of Nintendo Land's direct stream probably did more to sway people into consuming more video games than just Nintendo related things than you did in convincing people that they should hold a higher standard for the games journalists they watch. I think I would personally say that, but that's my opinion, obviously. Oh, we're over now? Shit, he really is political, huh? Nintendo in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, right? Amazing. Yeah, this bruv, you got me so heated I couldn't even be evil anymore. Jesus Christ, what a dog shit video, man. Holy shit, man. God damn. Now, to be clear, if I was to give you some positives, I think your overall thesis of like holding Nintendo creators to higher standards is good. I think it's admirable. I think the angle in which you angled this critique in, I think the angle in which you took this critique in was terrible. It was terrible, and it completely is antithetical to everything I believe in that I think that escapism is a very important tool, and I think that every person who consumes content should be able to just escape, and that's kind of it. I don't think you should put any sort of moral quandary on people using Nintendo content to escape. It's done in poor taste. Yeah, I feel like I could have made this video more effectively than you, because I do believe when situations call for real world things to be talked about, I think you should. I think you should talk about them. I think if someone wants to complain about the price of amiibos and they avoid using the T word, I think that's very immature of them. I think you should just say it. Donald Trump did the tariffs, and as a result, goods coming into the US are expensive. I think you should just say that. I think clowning around that is childish. But if it doesn't ascertain to your gaming stuff, why the fuck would you mention it? It's up to the person as to whether they want to use their platform. And it seems like you're just being a bit of a woke scold? Oh, you're being a bit of a woke scold there, buddy, okay? You leave your white privilege at the door, okay? A brown person's talking, okay? You're mad that guy who makes Nintendo videos doesn't talk about politics. Real! Oh my god, real! I like how he said it's weird having this political content and so it's unrelated video topics, and then the producer to do exactly to himself in the last few minutes. This guy is so online, he doesn't even consider how this can be perceived as political. True, honestly. Hang on, he's so online and let random dimwits on the internet influence his stupid financial decisions. And guess what? Nintendo? You let the whole world know that for free. They couldn't warboard that information out of me, broski. Jesus, remember when you used to have shame? It's one of those statements where, like, do you know when you bump into someone who unironically, you know, like we say woke as a joke, right? Woke, woke nonsense. It's on woke. Like I use woke as often as I use like literally like any word, honestly. It's just a fun word to say. The kind of person who unironically says woke is just kind of like, you just kind of look at them and you're just a bit like, it's going to be a long day. You know what I mean? In the same way that when someone says everything is political, I'm just kind of like, it's going to be a long day, isn't it? Because what people mean to say, yeah, it's like literally. I think Morkin literally said it. Yeah, it technically is, but I don't care. That's literally what I was gonna say. It technically is, but I don't care. The whole what people mean when they say this, just to clarify for anyone who doesn't know, is that whenever you consume any sort of art, obviously people grow up in a people have a set of politics. That politics can also define your art, and if you consume that art, then obviously the politics you have like kind of webs into almost anything you do in a sense. So technically, everything in that way is political, and it's like that's true, but don't care. What are the politics of the So Moresty stream? It's point and laugh. Use the do not recommend channel button. Support Arsenal, okay? Yeah, don't be a bully. Have fun, exactly. I consider myself left-wing, but I was on board until the video games became, why are these guys talking about games that have socioeconomic state of the world right now? Like, I don't think having sub 2M subs on YouTube means you have a moral obligation to become a charitable and revolutionary political activist ever. The problem with these videos is that the clickbait whores and corporate bootlickers that, not that they don't say free Palestine enough, clapped. Fucking Jake White over here, exercising his white privilege to say the exact same thing I did, but in his white voice. Amazing stuff. The weird self-insert in the last part of the video is a real head scratcher. Bro, what? He replied! Gamers, he replied. What could bi-curious George possibly say? So true, I should stop making videos from my own perspective and regurgitate whatever you want me to say. How very snarky. How very... Classic liberal, just doesn't say what he means. He's passive aggressive, huh? Classic liberal, classic wokey, huh? No one said that you can't do what you want. That is unrelated to the video, no one's interested in it. If you want to convince people to change their political position, then you have to start a politically focused channel and be honest about it. No one's gonna take you seriously, or trust you, if you already mislead them by saying a video is about one thing, then pivot to something else entirely. It's honestly childish to think sneaking politics into a random video is good or effective in any way possible. People just think you're morally grandstanding hack. You complain these influencers are cowards for hiding their political positions, but you're a coward too. Instead of a video trying to drum up support for a cause you believe in, you made a channel that's, supposedly, about entertainment. How can you make videos about games and buy luxuries with a genocide going on? Why are your causes supremely important, yet so minuscule at best that they just get nods in videos, rather than having their own dedicated videos without fluff about the things that don't matter? It's because you want your cake and to eat it too. You wanted to make content about games, but you also want to feel good about yourself for shouting out these buzzwords and causes without doing anything about them. Your solution is to try and strong arm other influencers, who I don't like neither, into doing what you want. Never want to do it yourself, but be perfectly content with trying to usurp other platforms through shame. You aren't going to convince people to change their political positions just because you chant whatever today's progressive phrase is in an unrelated video. All this can happen is that you're going to alienate people who want to watch someone who stays on topic. Then you'll form an echo chamber of other slacktivists who eat this shit up and think that you've accomplished anything when you haven't changed anyone. You've pushed away everyone until you're left with sycophants. Yeah, just give this a truth supernova. Jesus Christ, man. Who is this? Who is our hero? Mr. Schmooker9. The best to ever do it. Holy shit, man. Send this man to the infirmary. Good fucking grief, man. That's literally my thoughts. If you wanted this whole reaction in a succinct package, it's this. I personally, I just can't stand Slack. I just can't stand it. I can't stand the kind of person who says free Palestine and does fuck all else. I can't stand the kind of person who changes their flag to have a Ukraine outline, transparent Ukrainian flag, and does fuck all. Which is why you're never going to catch me doing any of that sort of thing. If you see me like with any sort of like any sort of like cause, you can be sure that I believe in it. That's not to say I'll never talk about anything of that, or any social political things. I'm never gonna completely close that door to myself. But you can be sure if I ever talk about that, I'm actually gonna put my money where my mouth is. I'm gonna be out protesting. I'm gonna be out like doing charity drives. I'm gonna be doing something. Yeah, I'm gonna actually be crazy how that works, huh? Crazy. Maybe even doing a live stream to raise money or awearness. In the same way, like, you know, you saw Sten made that video, like 100 indie games for charity or something like that. But heck, maybe you could do something like that. Crazy, huh? I think I could sum this video up with the GIF. You've seen the caption before. You know exactly what the caption is. All I'm saying is when we go to the left-wing party next week, you're not invited, okay? Don't turn up. Don't turn up, okay? Because me and the chat are gonna have some words for you, okay? Me and the chat are gonna have some words for you, buddy, okay? Who's invited to the woke BQ? You'll bring the trans donuts? Oh, hell yeah! Oh, hell yeah, let's go! Real and true. I'll bring the ace cookies. The binary bagel, the non-binary bagels. I'll bring the tofu, very woke. Left wing, right wing, nah, chicken wing. True! True! I'll bring the gaycon. Oh, the lettuce BBQ. You guys are being too funny at the moment, okay? You gotta stop.